3, 2, 1.
Push.
Demolition is a dangerous business.
Dead man walking.
Sometimes the only way to bring down a structure is to blow it up.
It's always a challenge. That's what makes it so interesting.
Blasters are an elite group of highly skilled explosives experts who travel the world, leaving rubble in their wake.
Best adrenaline rush you can get.
It's a thrilling job.
Go on, go on, go on.
You can't beat pressing the button on the day.
Hit it!
But the stakes are frighteningly high.
If anybody gets inside that exclusion zone, we press the button, we hurt somebody or kill somebody, that is a very, very big deal.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye now.
Twickenham Stadium, London, the home of England rugby. This world-famous pitch has seating for 75,000 fans and needs even more. There are ambitious plans to replace the south side with a bigger stand. But first, the existing stand has to go. That's where Mick Williams comes in. He's been hired to blow up the structure with dynamite.
Even that'll be going up to Airedale, to joint restroom.
Right.
His crew includes Holly Bennett, the only female blast engineer in the UK.
We do.
So if he takes this up and all.
Twickenham Stadium is located in a residential area. It's not the safest place to be detonating 75 kilograms of explosives. Holly is responsible for security. On blast day, it will be her job to seal off the area and make sure no one gets hurt.
Get some clear and take some of this clear down with us and put them in your
But as foreman, it's Mick who must be concerned with every detail. He'll oversee all 1,310 explosive connections. He'll attach the main fuse line to the dynamite, and it will be Mick who pushes the button, triggering the blast. Tradition has a lot of value in sport, which is why this 96-year-old pitch is being protected at all costs. If it's altered in the explosion, the Rugby Federation could sue for damages. That's why Brent Blanchard is here.
I might take a walk up here and just see if there's something.
His job is to document the explosion for insurance purposes.
Just be careful.
Brent is going to compile a comprehensive record of the explosion and the surrounding area, with still photos and video cameras. This data, along with his seismic readings, will help resolve any insurance issues that may arise later.
This will be very nice. Very nice. This might be the strongest shot on the job. The blasting community is a pretty small group. There's probably only about 15 of them in the world that consistently perform these type of projects.
In the world of blasting, no one is more trusted than Brent Blanchard.
Pretty much right
Well,
where
we've
we
got
are.
millisecond delays from top to bottom.
Okay.
And a bit across, so it's like the top ones go, second layer goes, and then across to the middle and back here and back.
I see.
So, yeah.
Brent documents 200 explosive demolitions a year. But this one promises to be particularly spectacular.
Not really one cohesive set of directions. When these post-tension columns are popped, it's going to look like a souffle collapsing, basically.
To do this job, the blasters have hired in lots of extra manpower, as well as 19 of their own core team. On site, there are over 1,000 sticks of dynamite, 550 meters of detonation cord, and a makeshift mission control center. With Mick's team of engineers and laborers fully assembled, the work of bringing this structure down moves into high gear. First, the stands on the two corners get ripped out with a voracious machine known casually as a muncher.
What we've done is we've isolated our bit that we're doing, and they're just going to tear this down, munch it down traditionally with the big machines.
Meanwhile, the huge concrete columns holding up the south stand are being drilled with thousands of holes. Once the dynamite holes are bored, the concrete support columns get wrapped in corrugated tin sheeting, then wrapped again in chain link fencing, and then wrapped again in protective black geotech fabric. If these columns weren't tightly bound this way, they would shoot concrete shrapnel everywhere when they explode.
We're using nitroglycerin-based dynamite in the columns here because of the size of them being chunky.
Before going into its cavity, each 57-gram stick of dynamite is fitted with its own blasting cap. The silver blasting caps contain a precise timing device which will essentially tell the dynamite when to explode. These caps are accurate to 1 millisecond. After the dynamite is inserted, it needs to be sealed inside the hole.
So what you have to do is physically fill the hole up with stemming of some sort, which clay is good, and it stops the explosives as it's working just coming back out the hole. So it keeps the energy down the hole and it bursts the concrete.
Mick has blasted sports stands before, but that doesn't mean this job is a simple replication.
There might be properties to one side. It's always a challenge. It doesn't matter if you get 10 identical jobs, there's usually a different challenge to each one. That's what makes it so interesting.
Phil Lowe is the designer of this blast. His plan is to create a series of explosions that will cause the multi-tiered sports stand to concertina and fall into its own foundations.
The building's it's got a bias that way, but same as I say, it's got the delays are like to concertina it from the top level downwards, so it should collapse on itself, but with a bias that way as well, you see.
When the blast happens several days from now, it's going to be a big show. Members of the press, VIPs, and local residents have been invited to watch from the North End stand. Overall, hundreds of people will attend a celebratory viewing party as guests of the Rugby Football Union. It's taken weeks to prepare the stadium, but finally all the dynamite is in position. There's less than 48 hours to go before the big party, when these stands will be blown to pieces. But what the crew don't know is that just a few miles away, explosives are about to be used for a deadly purpose.